Now we move on to part 6, dealing directly with the laws of manifestation. Namely, law number 4, the sphere of availability. The other chapters prepared us to energetically deal with many of the things that impede the other inner plane laws. If you have been practicing the LIRP in the morning, the LBRP in the evening for some months, and started on the elemental exercises, you are already calibrating yourself to be aligned with many of the upcoming laws. Just a note here. When modern manifestation books speak of things like affirmations and positive thinking, they are missing some key levels. The subconscious is not fully influenced by conscious thought or desires. If it were, then we would all become what we wish simply by stating it. A close observation of the world will tell you that many people live in a condition far from the one they desire and obsess about. Some more nuanced books tell us that we must be a so-called vibrational match to what we want. But what does that mean? Being in the same vibration with the things we want doesn't come from just wanting or positive thinking. It comes from changing our energetic field, by bringing the inner planes into harmony through activating and balancing our elemental qualities. And then, by operating within the sphere of availability, we become aligned with the conditions that we seek. The elemental or energetic work stabilizes and expands the operator. The sphere of availability defines what can actually be pulled in now. This is the foundation. Later, we open the planetary powers. Some systems even associate this with the chakras and kundalini. But in any case, any changes we make, whether through spells, evocation workings, or planetary magic, without a balanced elemental field, the results may be fleeting, backfire, or even cause new problems. With elemental work, we set the foundation for all these forces to operate. We also balance the character. Most ill effects in magic happen due to imbalances in character, such as excessive anger, greed, sloth, and so on. A strong and balanced elemental field also brings about certain conditions in your reality organically. For example, mastering earth can lead directly to good health, wealth, feelings of safety. Water mastery can bring love, harmonious relationships, partners, and emotional well-being. Mastering air can bring quick intelligence, good speech and communication, a sharper mind, better execution of mental tasks such as passing exams, etc. Mastering fire brings great vitality, optimism, success, inspiration, passionate affairs. These are currents that become active in your life. The planetary or spirit forces can enhance more precise desires. But usually, a good mastery of the 4 elements will bring in all your material and psychological needs. And most mages will then use the advanced powers to perform the great work. That is, the art of transforming oneself into a divine being. For now, let us continue with the laws that will help to forge your physical reality and start the path to mastery. We will now let Ophiel directly explain this 4th law.
We now come to the law listed as number 4 on our list. I have named this law the sphere of availability. This name designates one of the most important occult laws ever given out in any occult book. In all my years of occult research, I have never found any outright expostulation of this law. There were a few vague hints, but that is all. All the work you will ever do now or in the future along the lines of creative visualization hangs on the knowledge theory base of the sphere of availability. Now, I sure do hate to keep on saying, give this next subject your utmost attention, etc. but in this case, it is more true than otherwise. And the reason is that in the case of some of the other laws I will give you, in spite of them, you can still accomplish a great deal in creative visualization work. But a lack of knowledge of the sphere of availability is fatal when it comes to accomplishing anything through creative visualization. The one big single reason why mental visualizations fail to come true or do not reach physical consummation is a failure to know about and understand and allow for the existence of the law of the sphere of availability. Once this law is clearly understood, it explains why some students' visualizations succeed easily, while other students' visualizations never succeed, no matter what they do or how hard they visualize. Except those who do the work naturally, as I said before. In the illustrations following, look for the examples where creative visualization work was done naturally. For the technique theory of the law, I'm about to explain to you, as you have no doubt guessed by now, I have coined the name the sphere of availability. I did this coining of names even after I complained about others doing it. I feel that I should mention here that it was my repeated failures to achieve success with visualizations that led to my discovery of the law of the sphere of availability. The concept of the law of the sphere of availability is so subtle that I have decided that the best way to teach the understanding of this law is by means of case histories about people who have succeeded in creative visualization work. And then I will point out the correct use of the law in these cases.
In this next part, Ophiel speaks about an author, Mr. Inglese, who was famous in the early part of the 20th century and wrote about people's experiences with using these occult laws.
In one of his books, Mr. Inglese, talking about the law of opulence, which was his name for creative visualization, tells a story about a young man who lived in Paris many years ago. This young man came from a family of rag pickers. That is, he made a living by picking over the piles of Paris rubbish and salvaging anything usable. But from what I know of the French and their thrifty habits, I would say that the pickings were slim indeed. This young man attracted the attention of a person who was versed in the occult arts, and this person decided to help the young man. He gave the young man a manuscript and told him to study and practice the knowledge contained therein. And this the young man did. The manuscript contained directions explaining the art of creative visualization, or, as it was called in the manuscript, getting things through thinking. After reading and studying the knowledge contained in the manuscript, the young man decided he would attempt to practice the great art. The following is very important. The young man decided for his first visualization attempt that the first thing he really needed was a small piece of carpet to put beside his bed to protect his feet from the cold stone floor when he got out of bed in the mornings. He proceeded to visualize for a piece of carpet, and in a short course of time, a woman gave him a piece of carpet. This simple demonstration so convinced him of the value and power of the art of creative visualization that he proceeded to practice it for the rest of his life. And when he passed on, he had many hundreds of thousands of francs, and francs were francs in those days. We will now consider a case that I know about personally. Many years ago, I lived in La Jolla, California, and I used to attend a little Theosophical meeting that was held there each week. As is somewhat common in Theosophical circles, there was a mixture of people there with different backgrounds and many different kinds of different ideas about the occult. I recall one lady who was active in semi-occult work. She used to teach in some kind of a WPA group in San Diego how to make treasure charts, as you will get later, such as are taught by the Unity people in their work. She adapted her own ideas to these treasure charts and then taught them as a kind of creative visualization system of her own to a mixed group of people in her classes. The people in the class, having nothing better to do for the moment, took up the idea with a great deal of non-seriousness and, much in jest, one man made up a chart for a bottle of whiskey and another made up a chart for a blonde. It turned out, shortly afterwards, that someone gave the one man a bottle of whiskey and the other man was introduced to a blonde. The two men were so frightened by these happenings that they fled the classes and refused to have anything more to do with this stuff. From two of my own cases. At one time, I owned a small rooming house that I had gone to a lot of trouble to fix up very nicely, and yet I did not seem to be able to get any income out of it to amount to anything. I made up a chart and I decided that I would be satisfied with an income of $200 a month clear for the time being. And I soon had it. At another earlier time than that, I needed a small hand punch for some work that I was doing, but I was not able to buy one for lack of money at that time. I did some visualization work for a punch. Frankly, without much hope, as I was new to the game. A few days later, I was accosted by a drunk man who offered me a punch for a small sum of money. I did not like the idea of the man being drunk and selling something for less than it was worth, and so I refused to buy the punch. Whereupon the man threw the punch down at my feet and stalked off in high dudgeon. You certainly could not ask for more of a miracle than that. I'm not sure where I heard the next two stories. I don't think I read them anywhere, but I did hear them. So, if I am using anyone else's stories, I apologize in advance. Both of these stories are about women and women's hats. A lady saw, in a large department store, a very beautiful hat that she decided she wanted for her own. She could not afford the price of the hat easily, so she decided to get the hat through creative visualization work. In order to get the creative visualization mental picture correct in her mind, she went into the store and, leaving her old hat on the counter, put on the desired hat and went to a mirror to see how she looked and to get the visualization picture absolutely correct in her mind. When she was through viewing the hat, she returned to the counter and, looking about, could not find her old hat. Whereupon the upset manager said she could have any hat she wanted in the department, and so she walked out of the store with a hat she wanted and visualized for. Another lady saw a very expensive hat in the store window and also decided to get the hat through creative visualization. She studied the hat and then visualized the hat on her head. Then she did not go near the window again because she felt that if she did look for the hat in the window, it might spoil the picture she had of the hat on her head already, which was a very sensible idea. Some weeks later, she was visiting a rich friend, and this friend said to her, "A couple of weeks ago I bought a hat, and now that I have got it home, I hate it and I would not wear it to a dog fight if I knew both the dogs. If you want it, you can have it." And she brought out the hat I could give many other examples, but these are enough to illustrate the law of the sphere of availability.
Reflect on these cases carefully, because in the next part, we are going to uncover what all these stories actually reveal about the law of the sphere of availability and how to begin working with it to bring your desires into physical manifestation. Over the next week, keep working with the elemental cards. Begin with the Kabbalistic cross. Perform the lesser invoking or banishing ritual of the pentagram, and then gaze at the Tattva card for that week. Follow the link in the description if you missed that video. Subscribe to be notified of the next part, where we begin to craft our desired outcome according to this law. In the meantime, arise and awaken.